Hello guys and welcome to my Deathknight PvP guide for patch 5.05. This has been updated from the last one. This now has rotations in and it's obviously not going to be as buggy as the last one, I hope at least. Enjoy. Okay guys, so your single target rotation is very similar to PvE Deathknights. This is for two-handed only the rotation I'm afraid, so dual wield people have to look elsewhere, though it's quite similar. You want to be keeping your Frost Fever and Blood Plague up 100% of the time. You've got two spells to spread them with your talents, so it's very good news for you. Then you want to be using Soul Reaper all the time when they're 35% or below. You want to be using them hopefully when they're about 40% if you can estimate if they'll drop or not. Of course, they've got the defensives up, you might not want to be using them. You need to estimate when they're going to go below 35% and then use it from then on, because it's some nasty burst damage that healers will not be seeing coming. Whenever Killing Machine's up, you want to be using it with Obliterate for those big crits, guys. When Rhymes procced, you want to be using Howling Blast, of course. It's a free Howling Blast, so why not? Necrotic Strike, if the healing is excessive and before your team switches, maybe, you want to be switching like 3 seconds before your team switches to get Necrotic Strikes up to reduce that healing. And of course, before Big Burst, you want to be using it. Frost Strike, if you're about to capture Runic Power, then Obliterate, Frost Strike, then Howling Blast. For AoE, you just want to keep your diseases up on your main target, spread them with Pestilence to all of the targets, and keep Death and Decay up, and then just spam your Howling Blast around. It's the only ability you should be using, really, just spamming Howling Blast, keeping the diseases up obviously, a Plague Strike every then, now and again, and just spam that Howling Blast. Your two-handed stat priorities are to get melee hit up to 3%, expertise over 3%, PvP power is then over strength actually, strength after that, PvP resilience, then haste, crit and then mastery. Dual wield is exactly the same apart from your mastery, crit and haste change. It's mastery the priority, then haste and then crit. Hello guys, Archangel here, and the obvious choice for our first tier in talents is Unholy Blight. For your second tier, you want to be choosing Lichborn, although Purgatory and Anti-Magic Zone are both viable in PvP, and I've seen them use Purgatory especially on the tanks, although I have seen it on a few DPS as well. Anti-Magic Zone is a big help for your team, but it's not so powerful in my opinion, so that's one you should not take. But Lichborn you definitely should take, because that's two bonuses for both healing and an anti-fear. All talents in your third tier are very useful. I've seen lots of Deathknights using Asphyxiate as it improves Strangulate, stunning the enemy, and if they're immune stuns then it will silence instead, which is very nice, but it does replace Strangulate, so you don't get that and Strangulate. I must say that just in case everyone thinks they get both. And what I've took is Chillblains. This is the same as it was before. Every time you have a Frost Fever on a target, they are slowed by 50% for 10 seconds, and your Chains of Ice now immobilises targets for 3 seconds, and that goes down with diminishing returns, of course. Death's Advance has been improved in Pandaria. As we can see, you pass to move 10% faster, and movement impairment effects may not reduce you below 70% of normal movement speed, and when you activate it, it's pretty much like a Hand of Freedom from a Paladin, which is very nice, and it's only on 30-second cooldown, which is... Fourth tier, the only really choice is Death Pact, because of the amount of instant healing it does. It's huge, and it doesn't kill your ghoul anymore, so it's very useful for Unholy, if you are here and you're Unholy, although I don't know why you'd be looking at Frost Guard as you're Unholy, but oh well. So it doesn't kill your ghoul anymore, bear in mind. It's 50% of your health now. I think it's been buffed from 40 or 20% it was in Cataclysm, but yeah, the other two aren't so useful at the moment. 50, you want to be taking Runic Empowerment, because it activates a fully depleted rune, 45% chance after you use your Frost Strike. Runic Corruption does almost the same, after 45% chance of the same ability, increases your rune regeneration rate for all runes. That's also good to take as well, you can take either one you want really. For 6th tier I've taken Remorseless Winter, because it's a very nice ability, and it's a great stun. I've got more than 7 targets in it before, and it has changed games, this ability. Gorfian's Grasp is also very good. If you put a Mage's Ring of Frost down and Gorfian's Grasp, then it's really nasty for the enemy team, because they've got all their members in a Ring of Frost at the moment, and if they're not dispelled and out fast, then there's going to be a lot of trouble with this. For the glyphs, you want to be taking Glyph of Anti-Magic Shell, Glyph of Dark Succor, and Glyph of Dark Simulacrum. Definitely the glyphs aren't so useful at the moment. There's lots of varieties you can take. If you're not taking Chillblains, I would advise you to take Glyph of Death and Decay for the slow. I'd also advise you, if you want, to take Glyph of Icy Touch for the purge, but it is a rune loss especially you'll be doing a lot less obliterates, which is pretty bad, but it is quite good in 1v1 situations. Minor glyphs, you can take anything you'd like. Resilient grip is actually the only useful one. If the target's immune, say in a bubble, then the cooldown's reset, but yeah, take any minor glyph you want and resilient grip with one of them. Thanks for watching my video, guys, and I hope you all have improved your Deathknight skills through this. Happy hunting.